Today our topic is the freedom of India and the role of freedom fighters in getting India's independence. So my first question to you is, who are freedom fighters?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, freedom fighters are the individuals who actively participate in movements which are aimed at liberating a nation from the operations or colonial rule by an other country.
Okay, so colonial rule. Okay, so basically you can say that those who fight for the freedom of our country and who give their blood and skin for for and their last, who devote their last breath to their nation, who are known as the real patriot. They are known as the freedom fighter of India, or freedom fighter in general. Now give me some examples and the names of the some popular freedom fighters.
Yes, ma'am. If we talk about some popular freedom fighters, so let's talk about one of the most important freedom fighter, who is Subhash Chandra Bose. So Subhash Chandra Bose, actually, there was a at that time there was a Indian National Army which was formed by Surya Sen, but Surya Sen was not able to control it properly. So Subhash Chandra Bose went to the powerful countries during the World War II, and he aligned with those countries to make the Indian Army stronger. And then he led the Indian National Army against the Britishers, which was very successful.
So basically, I asked you about some names only, है ना? So you have to list down all the names. I did not ask about the details. Just tell me that who, according to you, are the freedom fighters of India.
Yes, ma'am. So the freedom fighters are listed as Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Sarojini Naidu, Lala Lajpat Rai, Annie Besant, Mangal Pandey, Mahatma Gandhi, and Mangal Pandey. Sorry, I've already said. Then um Atal Bihari Vajpayee, nahi, sorry, Jawaharlal Nehru
Yes.
and Rajendra Prasad.
Hmm.
Then also Harishchandra
Are there
Rai.
some are there some ladies as
Yes, ma'am. Annie Besant and Sarojini Naidu.
okay? So these are the people who fought for our freedom, and not only at the political level, but also economical, social, and and other levels as well. And they did not only fight for the freedom from the colonial rule, but they also fought within the Indian societies, and they tried to uh, decrease and diminish all the differentiation that used to occur in our society. So with that in mind, you tell me that what are some of the ways that they employed to fight with the colonial rule.
Yes, ma'am. So the first method was the civil disobedience. Actually, the Indians, under the leadership of leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, practiced the civil disobedience by refusing to obey certain laws, and also they didn't refuse to pay taxes. Then the second was the mass protests. Actually, the Indian fighters organized and they also participated in numerous mass protests, rallies, and marches across the country, which to demand independence from the British. Then the revolutionary activities, like not all Indians like Mahatma Gandhi were the rulers who wanted peaceful who wanted the peaceful independence of India, while some rulers followed the radical path and radical methods, like they challenged the British rulers. And also many groups at that time like Gadar Party and HSRA were formed, which were like engaged in the revolutionary activities such as bombings, assassinations, and uprisings against the British. Armed
Yes,
uprising.
yes, yes, very well said. Very right. So these are some of the ways, but one can say that the basic feeling behind all these actions were the patriotism that they had for their nation. Now, this is how they fought with the colonial rule. Now, you will tell me that how they fought for the India within the Indian society. As we know that there were a lot of evil practices that they used to follow. Okay, so first of all, you will tell me about the issues that used to happen in the society, and after that we will go toward that how they fought. Okay, so what were the issues that were facing that Indian society faced during the colonial rule as a society?
And the major problems were, first of all, the untouchability. Then second was the sati pratha. Then third was the like female foeticide and infanticide. Then the other thing was like the mindset of the or the stereotype of the people for the Dalits, and also the stereotype of the among the people for the religious activities or the or other religions.
Hmm. So and how freedom fighters fought with all these inequalities and differentiation within the society?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, first of all, our one of the freedom fighters, B.R. Ambedkar or Bhimrao Ambedkar, fought against the untouchability. Actually, he was untouchable or a Dalit, a so-called Dalit. But uh, but after that, he was successful in he was a lot successful in uh, demolishing the demolishing the untouchability. And
What what is the word that you have used?
what, ma'am?
Demolishing was the word you used.
Ma'am, but demolishing is for the buildings.
Yeah, so what word I am asking? What word did you use?
Yes, I used the demolishing word. I used it wrong.
Yeah.
It's for
So you, huh. Okay, continue.
And if we talk about the other freedom fighters like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he worked for the women in the society. Like he abolished the sati pratha, and Uh, and also Annie Besant helped him, as Annie Besant, being a woman, also fought for the rights of the women, and and she encouraged the
Fought
other
for
women
the
to.
right of women, है ना? If you are saying more than one woman, so you will pronounce as women, not women.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
And she also encouraged the other women to participate in the to
Women's?
participate
क्या होता है women's? No, women, not women's.
women.
Yeah.
uh, and she
Okay, there's
worked.
a difference. Woman is the one. Okay, woman. Spelling is same in both the things. Woman is for one. Women. Okay, women is for the more than one. Okay,
Okay.
continue.
So Annie Besant fought for actually Annie Besant encouraged the other women to participate in the revolutionary activities. Then actually from the starting there was a unity between all the religions in India, but after the partition of Bengal in 1905 by the British rulers, there was a lot of problem, as now the unity did not existed.
There were lot of problems, right? Not there was not a problem. nahi. There were lots of problems.
Yes, ma'am. There were lots of problems, as now unity did not existed between the religions. So many freedom fighters like Subhash Chandra Bose and Mahatma Gandhi worked and uh, abolished all these activities that were performed by the religious groups against each other.
Yes, so these were the kind of social movements that were actually started by by our freedom fighters to actually amend the society from within, and that was the reason why even the masses could participate in the struggle of the India. Now, coming to the point, as why do you think that freedom is important for us? Why they were they wanted to achieve the freedom?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, India was the land of Indians, and the Britishers were not the owners of the particular area. So, the freedom fighters wanted that this nation should have the particular identity as India instead of being a colony of the Britishers.
Okay. And why do you think freedom is important in our life?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, first of all, if we talk in general, the freedom is one of the most important element which we need in our life. Like, like freedom, uh, freedom allows everyone to do everything. Not everything, but to obey some rules. And if we talk about from the from the freedom fighters point of view, so they wanted the freedom uh, because there were many rules which were irrelevant made by the Britishers, and
Irrelevant. Irrelevant.
irrelevant that were made by the Britishers. Also, many taxes which were also irrelevant made by the Britishers. So they wanted to abolish all these taxes and laws. So they fought against the British to free the to lead to the freedom of India.
So, do you think that this all freedom struggle was easy or it was difficult, or how do you interpret it?
Yes, ma'am. So first of all, this was not easy, and it took a lot of time, like nearly for 300 to 200 years. India was a colony of the Britishers, and also the Britishers uh, looted India like almost 3. 41.5 trillion uh, trillion dollars were looted from India, and also uh, not only this, like the Britishers uh, were very oppressive, and it like
And they were a very powerful force. They also had really powerful means to actually make slave of the Indians, है ना? That's why it was so difficult for us to fight back.
yes, ma'am. Also, India have won the war against the Britishers many times, and British was not able to capture India. But there were some Indians only who helped the Britishers to take over India. Like if we talk about that time when Britishers just came to India, it was the 17th or 18th century, and they first tried to capture West Bengal as it was the largest state and most important for the trade routes. So the ruler of that state, West Bengal, was defeated by his uh, own member of the assembly. Actually, the Indians were the root cause of the colonial rule in India.
Hmm. So we can definitely know that this was not an easy process to get the independence from the Britishers. And so you tell me that what are the reason according to you are responsible for our freedom? Okay, what are the reasons according to you?
Yes, ma'am. So first of all, there were, like if we talk like we pressurized the Britishers after the 1910. After 1910, there were the civil obedience movement and the other movements which pressurized the government of Britain to leave the country India. And after all these steps, also Subhash Chandra played a most important role, as when the Britishers were pressurized, he over pressurized them by creating the INA, Indian National Army. Although it was not capable, the international army was not capable to defeat the British soldiers, as there were a lot of Indians in the British army, and it was very large army, whereas the INA was very small. But he played a very important role to pressurize the Britishers to leave India. And not only this, this was not only the contribution of the freedom fighters, but the society, who also played a very important role, as the civil obedience movement and the other movements which pressurized the Britishers to leave India were not possible if the common people and the society did not participated in those events.
Yes. So these were some of the reasons. Now, how do you think that we are utilizing our independence? Freedom fighters but before that, I want to know about the contribution of some important freedom fighters, and you will have to tell me about them. Like you actually have told about the Subhash Chandra Bose. Tell me some more contributions.
Yes, ma'am. Let's talk about Bhagat Singh. So Bhagat Singh was very different from Mahatma Gandhi, as Mahatma Gandhi had a mindset that we should fought by the we should fight the mental game instead of the physical game, and he supported the path of peace. But Bhagat Singh symbolized the revolutionary nationalism, and he also sacrificed his life for the cause of Indian independence, inspiring the countless others to join the struggle. Like Bhagat Singh did the revolutionary activities, there was one small 18 or 16 years old boy named Khudiram Bose. He was inspired by the activities performed by Bhagat Singh, and he killed one of the British officials. He was just 18 or 16 years old and was hanged to death after that activity. But that was a strong activity done by the a small child of just 18 or 16 years, Khudiram Bose. And then let's talk about Annie Besant. Uh, Actually, she was not from India. She was a British socialist who joined the Indian National Congress. Actually, there was a the um, Indian the Indian leaders also formed many organizations and parties so that they can abolish the rule of Britishers or control the rule of Britishers. So there was one of the parties formed, that or the most important party, named the Indian National Congress. And Annie Besant also joined the Indian National Congress, and he advocated for the self rule and playing a significant role in shaping India's political landscape. And she also encouraged the women to participate in all these activities. Then let's talk about one of the most important one of the most important leaders, who was Mangal Pandey. Actually, in 1857, there was a revolt planned against the Britishers, but actually, it was planned all over India. But at that time, there was not a lot of unity, and people did not knew that all the other people who were oppressed by the Britishers are their
Did not
friends.
know. People did not know. Naki did not knew. Okay.
Okay, people did not know that, and then uh, in some places this revolt started early, and Mangal Pandey is known for initiating the first war of independence, like I told, of 1857, by rebelling against the British East India Company rule, or the British rule in India. His actions also inspired the future generations of freedom struggle, like Khudiram was inspired by Bhagat Singh. There were other people who were inspired by Mangal Pandey, and also joined the freedom struggle of India.
Oh yes. Now coming to my next question, do you think that we are actually, trying to take full advantage of the freedom we have gained nowadays? Now as we are living in a free India. So do you think that people are actually making efforts to enjoy this freedom?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, When India just got independence, at that time it was very difficult to administer, and it was very easy not only for the Britishers. Actually, Britishers were not having a lot of money in their hand as they just fought the World War II, and it was very difficult at that time to manage such a large country with a lot of diversity. And many philosophers at that time said that India would not exist with such a diversity where all the religions stayed together. So, and at that time, any country who was not participate who didn't participated in the World War II can easily overcome India. But the rulers, our president and prime minister, controlled India and helped India to become a country with such a diversity. But yeah, nowadays there is a question that what are the advantages that we took after independence, as there is a lot of corruption in our India. But if the corruption is removed, then India has taken a lot of steps after the independence and also enjoyed the independence if the corruption was not there.
Yes. So of course there are some problems, but in a way we actually all of us are really thankful for our hard-earned freedom by the freedom fighters. So with that in mind, I want to ask that how do you see the free India? You are born and you are getting education in the free India. So what do you feel about this freedom?
Yes, ma'am. It is very grateful of us that first of all, we were not born at that time because it was very difficult to survive because of the oppressions of the Britishers. And I am very grateful of those freedom fighters who helped us to become independent. As it feels very happy that we move and breathe the biggest democracy of the world till now. Also, in the countries where monarchy still exists, like Britain, there are still many operations which are held against the public of that own country. But I am very happy that I am living in a secular country with a lot of diversity, and also which has a powerful democracy, as the monarchy still has some inequality in it.
Yeah. So we have to be grateful to for the sacrifices and the blood given by our freedom fighters, and we are so fortunate that we have grown up in a nation that is free. But while enjoying our freedom, we should never forget the contribution of the freedom fighters. So that's what